Imagine this, you think it's a routine take the ball up the court scenario, but shortly you realize that you are going into a nightmare that proceeds to wake you up with a slam. There's players around the NBA that can defend, and then there's a man Thompson, a player who strikes fear into the hearts of any offensive player coming at him. Whether it's his incredible wingspan that helps him send shots off the glass, or his lightning quick reaction timing to read plays before they happen, Amen's defense is simply a game changer for the Rockets. When you watch him hustle up the floor, it may seem like the video is sped up, but nah, that's just his urgency to get back. This ability to get up the floor so fast makes him a threat at any time, as before you know it, he's using that Euro to get right past your last defender, and now 2 more points are added on the board. His game truly has a unique blend of talents that make him a valuable player, and I mean, you tell me, when you see him stay with every combo Luka dishes out to then force him into a tough contested shot for the miss, does this not make you a little bit intrigued? As a second-year player, his discipline and awareness are unreal, as players can feed him multiple up fakes, but Amen will stay on his feet, and even when he does jump, he stays low and light on his toes, so once Kuminga does go up for the short jumper, Thompson is right there to make it tough to convert. It's not often we see defenders stay solid and glued to the ground when guarding elite players, as they usually would bite on at least one of these moves, but when you're dealing with a terror twin, that's simply not happening. Defense like this where you're hounding the offensive player makes life difficult for them, because if they can't shake you with any of their moves, well, they're going to opt into their last resort, and for Brunson, it's a turnaround fade that Thompson is right in front of. Against smaller guards like Brunson, it's extremely helpful that a man can move quickly on his feet so we can stay with him, and then once arriving at the rim, there's practically no room to breathe. Now listen, don't think it's only against smaller guys where he can hold his own, as against bigs, a man can absorb the contact, stay right in front, and force the miss. This type of effort on the defensive end simply can't be taught, as it's mainly all on the player to want it for themselves, but when you have a player who has the physical tools to not be fazed by contact and can nearly block the jumper, this is when you know you're dealing with a special talent. At 6'7", 200 pounds, Amen will step in front of anyone who's pursuing the rim and make any attempt in that area tough. But the thing that excites me the most about his defense is how fast he can turn from one offensive player to locate the next and then go track the ball down once it's in the air.
Pass by Tari. And then another block by Amen Thompson.
Take a look at this play right here. Thompson is on Brook Lopez when going to the paint. He then switches on to Portis on the block, and then right as Dame starts attacking, Amen shifts his attention to him and uses the left hand to smack this one off the rim. It's not every day you see a defender disengaged almost every time down the floor, so when the correct rotation is made and you see the ball flying off the glass, you have to sit back and appreciate it. Having a player on your team who can react in a quick manner does wonders for the defense, because not only is he able to stay put on his guy just in case there's a kick out, but once he senses danger down low, he can slide over right behind Buzelis and demolish it. Currently, Amen is averaging 1 block per game and holding players to only 44% on all shots less than 10 feet, which is 12% less than average. I know that stat can get a little messy at times due to how it's tracked, but trust and believe, Amen is a problem when guys are approaching the rim. Just like his quickness to switch onto defenders when they're at the rim, well, Amen can notice the advantage the offensive player has here when receiving the ball, so instead of staying with pull, Amen seamlessly switches on a Kisper without him knowing, and he then tracks it down from behind without fouling. The reason he can do this is because he's able to guard multiple positions, so once he cuts off one attack, well, he can go ahead and switch right onto the next person who tries to come into the kingdom and simply show them he means business. I know these might seem regular, but what makes him indifferent is that he doesn't just give it away that he's going to come help, which would give the defense time to think, as he instead just shoots right at them out of nowhere, and before they know it, they're getting blocked. If you're an offensive player, this is something you have to keep in mind when he's on the floor, as you might be able to blow past your initial man with ease, but when you're not taking into account that a help side defender is hunting you down, well, you might as well just kiss this one goodbye. Time and time again, players fall victim to these chase downs from behind that they weren't aware of, and this is only capable because Amen has great agility, which allows him to plant, turn, and speed spots on the court at great speeds. This skill of his not only helps when he's sending shots back, as if you watch here when Amen is guarding Coffee, he notices an angle to attack the dribble of Chris Dunn, so by leaving his man and launching towards the ball, he's able to poke it out for Reed to catch it, and this one ends in a slam. As I pointed out earlier, Amen is locked in on the defensive end on every play. Right here you can see him steadily eyeing the ball and what's going in within his two-man action. So once the pass is officially made on the cut, he's able to get out right before it to pick it off. On 1.3 steals per night, Amen's focus and quickness is what makes him so effective at stripping ball handlers, so before they even realize it, the ball is already going back the other way behind them, and now you're giving up a momentum bucket.
Amen Thompson to put it up and in and draw the...
Trust me, it's not often we see players get crafty with the ways they set up these robberies, but here you're gonna see a man turn around and act as if he's not worried about Cade, but this right here is all a setup, because out of nowhere he turns and blitzes Cade, who couldn't react quick enough to avoid the tip, and mama, there goes that man.
Poke away.
If you try to go straight at a man with no plan, it really isn't the brightest idea, as his hands are always locked and loaded ready to go into the cookie jar, and this right here is a 5-finger discount. Say you try to body him before going in, well psych, he's a little too fast. Say your team runs an almost flawless inbound play, well like we touched on earlier, Thompson's able to attach to the cutter like glue to take this away, and just when you think you have the perfect mismatch down low to go get an easy bucket, well the joke's on you. This freakish athletic nature of his gives him a major advantage on both ends of the floor. In situations like this, OKC for sure should be grabbing the rebound. But as we push play, you can see a man just skies over the top to snatch this out the air and then push right inside to slam it through with 2. This rim activity is another layer to his game the opposing team has to worry about, because if they get too caught up on the initial attack and forget to shut off any offensive rebounders, well this is pretty much a playground for Thompson. As you watch more games, you'll start to notice a man be deep in the sea of opposing teams and somehow be the first one to get a hand on it. These tip-ins don't just come off him randomly crashing the glass, as the Rockets tend to use him in as a screener as well, so once again you get to see his rim activity skills come in handy. Having a player you can use in the two-man game is extremely valuable, as not only do you make the defense shift, which opens up shots like this, but when you have someone who can make a quick decision when catching, this is when you're in for a show. The style of Amen Thompson is so intriguing, as he has a rare blend of defensive intensity and offensive promise. On one hand, he's a defensive juggernaut, locking down elite scores and altering shots with ease. And then on the other, his offensive game is constantly evolving with his pick and roll skill set, driving ability, and his rim activity already standing out. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to drop a like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you're first to know when I upload. I thank you all for your support, and I'll see you in the next video.